Hi there, it's Jen, and thanks for joining me today. I am doing the Spellbinders September 2018 card kit, new and improved. I do have an unboxing video if you want to check that out that shows all the contents of the kit. I do not show it in this video to save a little bit of time. They made some great changes and they've got some new items that they've included in the kit, and it's totally awesome. So I made 10 cards using this kit. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. One of the new items in the kit is the stamp set. Now this isn't, I don't think it's a photopolymer stamp. They're kind of thin. If you've ever got stamps from China, then they're kind of similar to that. So, but they do work just fine. So what I'm doing for this card is I'm just taking a white card panel and using my Memento black ink, and I'm going to go ahead and take the whale stamp and stamp that multiple times in a random pattern on that card front, or the card panel. And I speeded up a whole lot here just to get through this. As you can see, it stamps fine. I didn't have any issues, but it is a little bit thinner than a photopolymer stamp. So I'm taking some, let's see, candied apple, I think, or is that what that is? Candied apple distress oxide to place the hearts on the card, and then I'm going to take the faded jean distress oxide and stamp the little anchor. And I went ahead and attached the pattern paper, the kind of denim pattern paper, and then attach my panel on top of that. Here I am just using some glossy accents to fill in the hearts, and I use the sentiment, "I really love you." Looking at it afterwards, I might end up changing the sentiment to go on a white piece of paper. It's kind of hard to see on that dark blue paper. So for my next card, really easy. I'm just taking this pattern paper from the 6x6 pad that comes in the kit this month. And it's got a bunch of words on it, and then I'm going to take the die cuts, the biggest rows and several of the leaves, and I've gone ahead and adhered the pattern paper to my card base, and then I'm just taking this rose and popping it up with some foam tape, and then I'm going to take several of the leaves and adhere those onto the card. And originally I wanted to use the So Amazing sentiment along with the little tab that says "This Is." I end up using some of the epoxy sticker sentiments for this instead. So this is a really simple card, and like most of the Spellbinders cards that I do, nothing too complicated. I don't use a bunch of extra supplies. I try to use what's in the kit, but it is nice sometimes to break out some of the dies in your stash. So that completes card number 2. For the next card, I started out wanting to use the little VW bug die that came in the set, and so I had cut out several using that die out of, I cut out several of the pieces of pattern paper using that die, and I don't end up using it for this card. I totally changed direction. So I'm taking this really pretty yellow floral piece of paper and setting it off and attaching it to leave a little bit of space on the left hand side, and then I take a piece of the silver foil paper that came in the kit and go ahead and make a little border on the left hand side. And then I'm just taking several of the die cut pieces and adhering those to the front, and that will complete this card. Pretty quick and easy. My video actually cut out, which is why you don't see me attaching all of the stuff to the card, but I did a lot of the sentiments and then a few of the little epoxy stickers. They have a bunch of really nice die cuts in this kit, and there's a ton of them, the absolute ton. So this is the card where I actually use the VW bug die, and I'm going to go ahead and take a square die from my stash and cut out this piece of striped pink paper, and then I'm also going to take the paper that has the silver foil circles on it and adhere that to the bottom of the card base using my double-sided tape. And then I'll go ahead and adhere the piece of pink striped paper. And I had experimented using several of the pieces of pattern paper with this die. During the process of making this, I actually lost one of the dies, one of the really tiny dies. I had run it through my die cut machine and it had slipped off, and I heard it jangle on the floor, so I've got to look for it now, but it's super tiny. It's a little windshield wiper die, so it's going to be hard to find, but I went ahead and took another piece of that pattern paper that has the words on it and used that as a border on the top. And here I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do the card. So I had previously cut out the car using some pattern paper, and then I decided that I wanted to use the silver foil paper, so I went ahead and cut that out. I took this piece of blue paper from my stash, and I'm just going to go ahead and take my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive and place that on the back of the foil car. It's kind of difficult when using foil paper, or I don't know if it's exactly foil paper. It's just basically silver paper. It's a little thicker. Usually Spellbinders includes a gold piece in their kits, and this month they included a silver piece. I'm assuming to make elements for the car, but when you get glue on that, it's not too hard to get it off. So I do get a lot of glue on it, a lot of the liquid adhesive, and I do end up just kind of like buffing that off because it is very noticeable on this silver paper. I go ahead and take there are two dies that come in this kit for the headlights. One is the actual circle and one is the bigger circle that goes behind. So I use some black paper and also the kind of turquoise paper from my stash. The next die is the bumper or the fender. Is it the fender on the front? I have no idea. And then there are two dies for the grill. One cuts out the outside and one cuts out the inside. And then here are the tiny little windshield wipers, which they don't look like they're on the right. I used the example card kind of for a reference to try and figure out how to put this car together. And then there's another die that has these two tiny little, they look like quote marks, and they're actually the mirrors. And then there's one die that has both of the tires. And so here I am just trying to clean up my glue mess. And I think I get most of it off. So I'm just taking a damp wet wipe, not totally wet, just a little bit damp, and I'm just rubbing that off, and then I kind of buff it out with a sponge. I don't know where my paper towels are. I would have used that. And then I just take some foam squares from my stash and pop that car up. And I use the sentiment from the puffy sticker sheet that says the best, and then the epoxy sticker that says fun times. And then at the end I went ahead and added those little kind of whatever those little 3 lines are called. I have no clue. For this next card I'm using this gorgeous piece of the 6x6 pattern paper. I absolutely love this floral. I am cutting it and attaching it to a piece of white cardstock. I don't know if there's a better way to do this, but there probably is. I am then taking one of the puffy stickers that says sunshine, and it wasn't sticky enough on its own, so I went ahead and took my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive and gave it a little bit of extra adhesive just so it secures better. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around the bottom of the lettering. So I've already done that here, and basically it's just fussy cutting around the bottom so that there is only the pattern paper on the top. I wasn't sure if I was going to go with a white background or with the yellow background, so I was kind of trying to figure out here how I wanted to do that. I did end up liking the yellow better, and so I'm attaching the pattern paper and the sentiment to this piece of yellow, and that will attach to my card base. And then there's this super cute, absolutely love this little starfish die, and that comes in the kit. And I went ahead and cut out 2 starfishes in the silver paper and attached those to my card. And I also used the epoxy sentiment that says yay yay. So it just says yay yay sunshine. And I really like this card. I love that paper. It's just gorgeous. Very pretty. And that will complete this card. For the next card, I am using this die. It looks like a piece of bacon to me, but I'm going to use it as waves. I don't remember where I got this or what brand it is. I'll have to see if I can find that. So I've just basically taken a piece of the brown pattern paper and used the die all across it. And I also took another die from my stash with clouds and I don't know what happened to the rest of this video, but the waves or the blue paper is just each individually glued. I went ahead and stamped the sentiment, "You are whaley awesome," onto the cloud portion and popped that up with foam tape. And here I'm taking one of the whale die cuts that comes in the kit and putting some double-sided adhesive on that, and then I'm just going to place that on the card so that it looks like he's kind of in the waves a little bit, or in the water. And I believe I use some of the epoxy stickers. Yes, so I use a shell and I use the little starfish. The colors kind of match with my ink. That wasn't planned, but yay! And that is, the sentiment is stamped in Distress Oxide Cracked Pistachio, or Pistachio. Is it Cracked Pistachio? It's a pistachio something. And then I just put several of the stars, and that will complete this card. This next card is really quick. I'm using the pattern paper from the kit. It's kind of it's a little bit of a mint colored background. It's kind of hard to tell, with some dotted triangles. And then I'm just going to take several of the pieces of the die cuts that come in the kit. The bike, the flower, and several sentiments. And I also use one of the, I think they're resin heart, or not hearts. I think I said that in my unboxing video. They are not hearts, they are flowers. So I'm going to take this circle die cut and attach that to my card. And then I take the bike and I pop it up with some foam tape and also adhere that to the card. And then I just take several of these die cut pieces and attach those. This tool is a lifesaver. I can't think of what it's called. It's a little pick tool that for some reason I can never get the little papers off the back of the adhesive, so this is a lifesaver. One of my favorite tools, must have. So then I just take the sentiment that says sunny days and I place that over one of the flower die cuts, and then I'm going to pop that whole thing up. And then I take the small little blue flower, the resin flower, and place that on the card. And then I also, this kit also comes with some silver sequins, so I'm just taking my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive and attaching 3 of those sequins to the card. And that will complete this card. Just one of my favorite things about the Spellbinders kits is it comes with a lot and you don't really need to grab much of anything from your stash. I mean, really nothing if you don't want to. It's kind of nice to add some, you know, different elements in, like embellishments and things like that. But not always necessary. So for this card, I am taking a piece of the blue kind of geometric looking pattern paper, and then I am taking these epoxy stickers that says the word hello, and I just drew a pencil line to kind of give me a guide so that I get these fairly straight. And I'm just attaching all of the letters to the card. And then I'm taking the pattern paper and adhering to the card using the double-sided adhesive, which also comes in the kit. And then I'll take a piece of the black cardstock and just cut that in a small strip and kind of clean up that border. So I've grabbed several of the die cut pieces from the kit, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach those to the kit. Yes, I'm going to attach those to the kit. I'm going to attach those to the card. I lost my little square that comes in the kit. The kit comes with the little foam squares, and I have no idea what I did with it. I seem to have lost a few things from this kit. And so that's why I'm using my foam squares for my stash, or else I would be using those other ones. But I went ahead and attached this vase with these stars. And the next one, I popped up the popcorn. Then I put 2 of the ice cream cones, epoxy sticker that says sweet. And I think that little green round thing is a donut. So, and then I also put the ticket that says party on. This one's probably one of my favorite cards. I love these 2 pattern papers. I think they're just so pretty. The purple floral and then the tone on tone with the blue. It's just really pretty. I'm taking some dies from my stash. This is kind of a rounded rectangle die. And I'm cutting out the center of the purple pattern paper. And then I'm going to use the silver paper to go ahead and make a frame. So I'm using the small die that I used to make the cutout in the card, plus a larger die, the next size up, to create that frame. And then I cut out the blue pattern paper, the tone on tone, and I'm putting that in the background of the card. And then I will adhere the silver frame using my liquid adhesive, and then attach the whole panel to a black card base. And I just took a piece of the black cardstock that was in the kit and used that as my card base. I ended up 2 card bases short because I had made 2 cards I did not like, and they didn't turn out as I wanted them to, and so I threw them away. They were very bad. Then I'm taking several of the die cut pieces, kind of these little banner flags. One says hey, and it has a silver border on top, and the other one is just a purple with kind of a silver trim on the bottom. And then this little piece of a arrow flag thing. And then I also took one of the resin hearts, or it's not a heart, a resin flower, and put that on the bottom. And then I also used another one of the whale dies. So this is my last card, I believe. This is a really simple, clean card. I am using this really cute paper that has the whales and the lighthouses in the background. And then I'm also using the die cuts, the yellow boat, sailboat, and the blue sailboat. I am using I'm just matting this basically. So I'm using this really pretty dark blue paper, matting it against a white piece, which I think always looks awesome. White and this dark blue just looks so pretty together. It kind of makes me think of Nautical every time. So I'm just going to attach this to my card base. And I took some circle dies from my stash and I cut out that pattern paper, so there are 2 circles. And I will go ahead and take those circles and get them centered on the card and adhere those. And I have a ton of stuff left over from this kit. Just an amazing amount of papers and die cuts. I don't always keep all that miscellaneous stuff, but the great thing about Spellbinders is the dies, and so now I have dies and a stamp set that I can keep, which I absolutely love. So I go ahead and take some foam tape and pop up these 2 sailboats, and then I add the sentiment, I think it says "You're awesome." But that'll do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found some ideas. If you are thinking of purchasing the kit or already are getting the kit or have the kit, and if you want information on the kits, I will have some links below in the description, so please check that out. And as always, please give me a thumbs up if you liked this video or found it informative, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much.